Hello guys, this is a continuation video of previously discussed Aurora serverless DB cluster connections. So in this video I'm going to discuss about how to connect to the Aurora serverless DB clusters using data API. Now we know that we can access to Aurora serverless DB clusters using this Amazon provided built-in data API. And then I'll discuss though there are different we can connect to the different applications using Lambda, AppSync, AWS Cloud9, and also using some AWS CLI. So at the beginning I am going to tell you the setups, then we'll connect to the AWS CLI, and thereafter also I'm going to show you the steps required for the connection using the Cloud9, and at the end I'll also show you this using this RDS built-in tool called query editor. Okay, so let's proceed. Okay, as you remember, we already I already show you at the serverless DB cluster setups preparation creation scripts that we already enabled that we already clicked this enabling the data API. This is something a prerequisites. Now for the availability of the query editor, I have chosen this the 5.6, as I said that 5.6 is the compatible with data API for Amazon Aurora Serverless. So MySQL, since I am using this MySQL, I have chosen 5.6. If somebody uses for the PostgreSQL, so it's compatible with version 10.7. There are some of the regions which it supports, so I am not going into the details because the list is quite long. And there is the next point, the authorizing access to the query. So there is a two type kind of query authorization it will be required. The one authorization required for the RDS, the another authorization will be required for the Secret Manager. So the easiest the policy one can provide, this is the Amazon RDS data full access policy and the Secret Manager read and write policy. So I have already given these things. My user, the IAM user, I'm using already having these policies. Otherwise, if you can, if you want to limit this policy, there is this kind of Amazon notes where you can see this is the minimum level of policy one can provide if one is not comfortable with giving this Amazon RDS full access policy, and this Secret Manager read write policy. So this is the minimum level of policy one can provide, like RDS data, batch execute statements, begin transaction, commit transaction, execute transaction, rollbacks transactions, and some of the Secret Manager. But for the sake of this video, I have already provided this Amazon RDS data full access and Secret Manager read and write access to my IAM user. Okay, so the next point, we have to store some DB credentials or our AWS Secret Manager, like the database credential that that my database user is testDBA, and the passwords I am going to store in my Secret Manager credential, so that when I will be using my AWS CLI command so I don't have to put the passwords credentials. And also it will be required to create the next steps after Secret Manager. I have to create an Amazon VPC endpoints. It's kind of a AWS private link, and I'll be showing you the commands when using this calling the data API with the AWS CLI. So let's jump on to create this basic secret. Now I'll be showing you the steps to store the DB credential in the AWS Secret Manager. So let's go to the Secret Manager. I'm in the Secret Manager console, and then get start and click the store a new secret, and there is a different option, but this is for RDS database. So I click the RDS database. So my username is testdba. Let me put my password. Okay, there is a two option is there. Either I can use this default encryption password, or I can put a Secret Manager encryptions. So let me put Secret Manager encryption. I can even create a new key if you want. So let me put next. Okay, I have to put the database name. This is the database name. It is available. Put next. So let me put the secret name as DB test my DB. Okay, access to Aurora MySQL Serverless. Okay, let me put as a name data API. This is all optional steps. These tags, just I put these things next. Okay, now disable automatic rotation, enable automatic rotations. I don't want automatic rotation because I am just using it for demo purpose. Okay, next. So this is a sample code. You can code, because I am not going to use any kind of SDK for anything. So store. Okay, so my storing the password in the Secret Manager is done. So let me go to the next steps. The next steps, I'll be showing you this how we can create a VPC endpoints for the data API. To perform this VPC endpoint steps, let me go back to the console again. Let me choose the VPC. Then I have to create an endpoint. Scroll back. Okay, go to the endpoint. Okay, create endpoint. This is the AWS service. So I have to search for RDS. Okay, for this is for RDS. So I'll chose the RDS. Now this is the VPC. So availability zone, I can choose all the availability zones if I want. So this is something very important, enabling the DNS names. So enable for this to these endpoints. Now for the security groups, either I can choose any security groups, or I can create a security groups. Let me choose my same security groups as a database. So for these security groups, we have to choose which allow access to the AWS service that is running our database applications. Like example, if an Amazon EC2 instance is running our applications, then we have to choose the security groups that allows access to the Amazon EC2 instance, and the security groups should enables us to control the traffic to the Amazon VPC endpoints from the resources in our VPC. So for the policy, just I am putting this the full access. and then I'll create an endpoint. Okay, I'll go to the endpoint. So it is still creating. So these steps I'm going to show you this the calling the data API with the AWS CLI. So on the last steps I already showed that we created these VPC endpoints. Now I'll be calling this data API from my client machine. So let me open a new window. Okay, this is the new window. So if everything, all the setups are correct, we should directly get the we can connect through the AWS CLI. So I'll write a simple just to check if it is. Give me the value, the resource ARN of our database. So for that I have to check the ARN from RDS console. It should be in the configurations. This is the ARN. I will copy the ARN. And the database name is testdb. And I have to use this secret ARN for the credential. So for copying the secret URL, I'll go to the Secret Manager and I will copy the ARN from there. So this is the ARN. I'll just did a typo from I have to put the RDS data, not date. So you can see this, it is already providing me this the transaction ID. So looks like it's responding. Now in the next steps I will show you that how to run a SQL. To do that, let me create a table. Let me connect to this Aurora Serverless DB clusters, and let me create a table inside a row. So this is the EC2 machines I already have, so I'll try to connect to this. Okay, now I'll create a table there. Okay, I'll use my database TSDB. Okay, I'm just going to create a small table T1. Okay, now I'm going to insert a row. Insert. Okay, so one row is already inserted. Good. Okay, so I am going to use the same, but now I am going to put an additional argument called SQL and then select star from T1, because you can see that I already use this database as a TestDB. So I have created the one table here, inserted one value here, so I should get the reply. I believe the option is different. It's not a begin transactions, it is execute statement. So you can see that I can get the value from my JSON. So I can I can connect using this data API from my client machine, and this is not even using any kind of MySQL client, because I am not using any MySQL client. I am using through the AWS CLI using the data API connections. So these portions also end. The next things in the data API portions itself, there is a way to that we can connect through the Cloud9. So there is some kind of setups is required for the Cloud9. So I can I'll going to show you how to do the setups using the Cloud9. Now we are going to I'm going to show you this how to create a client environment with Cloud9 and connect to Aurora Serverless DB cluster. So to do that, I come to the AWS console and choose Cloud9, and I have to create an environment first at the beginning. Let me give the environment name as a CloudPy. You can have any details. This is optional, so I'll go to the next steps. So I'll choose the first option, the create a new instance with EC2, and I'll choose the T2 micro. Everything is default. Amazon Linux. Cost saving settings, okay. IAM role is already given. Network settings, let me use my default VPC. So it's already having a VPC is created, and it's already taking the subnets. So let me go to the next steps and create the environment. So this will take few minutes. Now my Cloud9 environment is now prepared. So let's go to the next steps. On the next steps, I have to perform some actions with the security groups. So it's already created some security groups. So let me go back to VPC. So now this will go to the security groups. So when I'll scroll down, I can see that one security groups created with the Cloud9. It's clearly visible. So I'll go to the security groups. In the security groups, you can see there is a SSH options are enabled, but since I am going to connect Aurora MySQL running on 3306, so I have to edit and I have to add a rule for 3306 should be enabled. But this time I'll be putting this things. The source should be the same security groups, the Cloud9 security group itself. So this is something prerequisites, save rules. Now I'll go back to my Cloud9 and open the IDE. This is the editor. So right click, terminal. So I am in my terminal already. So this time I'll try to connect MySQL. User is test db. Password, it will prompt H. It should be my database endpoints. Okay, what is my database endpoints? Let's go back. RDS. I'll copy my endpoint. Okay, I have made a typo. The username is testdba, not testdb. Okay, use testdb as database name and select star from T1 which you already created. So you can see that I have enabled this Cloud9 client connections. I have made a change in the security groups. Now I can able to log into the database. So connecting to the Cloud9 is done. So let's go back to our last steps. Our last step is that we can connect as I said that there is in a database API option itself there is a RDS inbuilt features where we can do this the query editor, RDS query editor itself. So we already enabling the database data API. So I'll go back to my RDS console and I'll choose the query editor. So since it is the first time I have to either there is two things there, either I can use the username and passwords or I can connect to the Secret Manager ARN. So it's my choice. So let me do the Secret Manager ARN. I'll go back to Cloud9. Okay, sorry, I have to okay, Secret Manager. We'll choose the ARN. Okay, testdb, connect to the database. So I already connected to the database. Select star from T1. Table yeah, you can see this the cloud by also settings you can get. Now we can check few things here. The page size, the preference things we can change if you want. Also the query editor, we can check this the auto commit transactions. So auto commit is a default. So this is the last and finals method we are discussing today. So hence we have discussed all the 4 ways to connect to the Aurora Serverless DB clusters. Now for the last steps, you have to delete the resources. Like at the beginning, I'll go to the cloud, I'll go to the secret manager, go to the secrets. You know the secret managers, I'll try to delete the secrets, but it cannot be deleted right away, so there is a 7 to 30 days. So I'll put the 7 days and schedule deletions, and thereafter I'll go to the Cloud9. I'm going to delete this thing right away. Okay, the next steps, I'll go to the RDS. I'll choose the RDS, action, delete. And the last, not the last steps, I have to also, I am going to the VPC, go to the endpoints, this is the endpoints I have created today. One point RDS, so let me delete these things. Endpoints, I also deleted the other one. Okay, so because that my database is not deleted, so it will take some time, maybe I'll do it later. I'll go to the EC2 machine, I'll terminate the EC2 machine as well. So I believe that you get a good glimpse that how we can create that Aurora Serverless DB clusters for MySQLs, and what are the defined ways to connect to the DB clusters. And please try it yourself. Happy learning. Good day. Bye.